Here's Brody Brazil.
So right now, football fans in Kansas City pretty much have the easiest job in all of sports. All you have to do is celebrate winning a Super Bowl, right? Patrick Mahomes in Super Bowl 58 led the Chiefs to that comeback over the 49ers, and Kansas City right now is a football franchise doing great. They've got the star players, they've got the attention, they've got everything going for them to the point where this might be an opportune time to say, hey, you know that stadium we play in that's more than 50 years old? We want to move out of it. We want a brand new one, right? Everybody's on cloud nine. Everybody in Kansas City is feeling it. They're almost intoxicated by winning to a certain degree. But the Chiefs aren't actually even going to ask for a new stadium. They're asking to stay in their stadium where they've called home for more than 50 years now. They're doubling down on Arrowhead Stadium, which, as you may or may not know, it opened up in 1972 at a cost of $43 million. It's one of the older NFL venues. It seats more than 76,000. It is huge. It's got a good reputation in terms of the atmosphere, the environment, a real home field advantage in Kansas City. It was renovated back in 2010. I think that might have been the second time it got fixed up, but even back then, from 2007 to 2010, a cost of only $375 million to fix up to the standards at that time. Like, even that dollar amount seems pretty shallow based on what they'd probably have to spend today to upgrade it. But that's exactly what they're trying to do, and for a bunch of really interesting reasons, they want to stay at their current stadium, again, as opposed to trying to convince the public to move somewhere else or do something bigger and better and more grand. There's going to be a vote on April 2nd, which would extend a 3/8 cent sales tax in Jackson County. That's where the Royals and where the Chiefs play. That Truman Sports Complex has existed for decades, a baseball stadium, a football stadium, and a huge parking lot in between the two. That tax has been going on for decades, that 3/8 cent tax in Jackson County, and it's always been split evenly between the Chiefs and Royals for stadium upgrades and facilities. And you know what? The Royals are interesting right now, too, because they're trying to leave Kauffman Stadium. They're trying to leave that Truman Sports Complex and move downtown. In fact, I think they're just announcing right now a very specific stadium site that they want to build in downtown Kansas City. So the Royals have their own ambitions to go ahead and move out of the complex, but the Chiefs are doubling down on it. They say they want to stay and upgrade Arrowhead Stadium, which again is counterintuitive. Don't most owners say, well, I want to capitalize on this time, get everybody's attention, and then get something brand new and move out of here? Clark Hunt, who is the son of the original owner of the Kansas City Chiefs, he said this: our primary goals will be creating additional fan amenities on all three levels. We'll also do some things in the parking lots that will make the tailgating experience better, particularly if the Royals vacate Kauffman Stadium. Wait, the tailgating experience? Additional fan amenities on all three levels? Not just the field level, not 100 more skyboxes or luxury suites or a football field-sized LED screen? Wait, you're doing things for the fans here? My point is, all of these are the quotes that you don't normally ever hear when an owner talks about fixing up a 50-plus-year-old stadium. And then there are a number of things we need to do to modernize a building that's 50 years old and make sure that the infrastructure associated with it is good to go for another 25-plus years. Wait, you're trying to make this sustainable? All of this is counterintuitive in American sports culture. It feels like the thing to do is throw it away, build a new one, build it downtown, build a village around it. This is the Kansas City Chiefs, who've had a bunch of success recently. Again, the money, the revenue, how they're doing as a business must also be in line with that pretty well. But they're not trying to do the difficult thing here. They're trying to do the smart thing. This comes from the Kansas City Star. The Chiefs explored options outside of renovating Arrowhead Stadium, including, like their potentially short-time neighbors in the Truman Sports Complex, the Royals, building a new stadium, one that would include a retractable roof. So here's the Chiefs in Kansas City where, it snows, it gets cold in the winter. They thought about moving out somewhere where they could control the climate, a roof that opens and shuts. That, though, would entail a higher cost, potentially 3 times the amount as a renovation. though it could also offer additional opportunities. Yeah, you could use the venue a lot more. You wouldn't get snowed out in certain games or event situations. Going back to more quotes here from Clark Hunt, the owner. The truth is, at the end of the day, we believe that Arrowhead would be just as good, if not better, than any building we could create. We thought a little bit about a domed facility, which would be much more expensive to build. Did he just say that Arrowhead, 50-something-year-old Arrowhead, would be just as good, if not better, than anything he could create, they could create, starting from scratch with an architect, with all the different ideas and technology in the world, that Arrowhead Stadium for the Chiefs and their fans would be better than anything else they could do. This is amazing. But as a family and as an organization, we're a big believer in playing football outside. We think it's something that gives us an advantage come December, January, when we're approaching the playoffs and playoff games. Wait a second. Earlier we were talking about the owners speaking up for the fans and their experience, and I mean all the fans, not just the top-paying customers. And now we're talking about an owner who has the team's strategy in mind? Again, this is so refreshing, quite honestly. And I don't know Clark Hunt at all, personally or even from afar, but these are amazing quotes. This is an amazing perspective and an amazing way to put it. Arrowhead will largely look like it's always looked in the renovation. That's something that we've thought a lot about because one of the special things about Arrowhead is the sight lines and the way the bowl holds the noise in. Home field advantage when the opposition has the football. We want to be very careful not to do things that take away so that the designs will all have that in mind. This is crazy. You don't hear comments like this about many sports venues, really baseball, basketball, hockey across North America. Usually it's old, it's going to cost more to fix up than it would be to build a new one. Here's a team saying, no, you know what, actually it's going to cost more to build something new than to actually fix up the one and the place that we want to be at. Here are my takeaways. Again, what a refreshing and uncommon desire for a pro sports team to stay and upgrade their facilities. There's kind of that 30-year life cycle of sports venues and arenas and stadiums and ballparks. That's kind of the expectation across North America. If it lasts 30 years, okay, it did its job, which I actually think is quite young, and we can do better than that. Here's the Chiefs as an example. And to talk about upgrading things like tailgating and fan amenities, and we're not saying, oh, we're going to build a whole structure full of just luxury suites only. We need the premium experience in Kansas City. I mean, I'm sure there might be some of that, but I didn't see that really mentioned or elaborated in any of this, which, again, is truly amazing. They're trying to preserve the experience of going to Arrowhead Stadium. They're trying to continue to thrive in what they think is a home field advantage. They like it outdoors, they like it noisy so that the other team comes in and struggles against their team. These things are so obvious, and they should always be considered by pro sports franchises. But as you know, it doesn't always go that way. So, again, at a very interesting time where, hey, they're going to have a parade, they're going to celebrate a Super Bowl title again. They've got Patrick Mahomes, they've got Kelsey, they've got a bunch of good players. All of that going right for them, and instead of taking the obvious route and road to, hey, we want a new stadium, help us out here, all they want to do is continue the sales tax that's always existed and stay where they're at. In my mind, there's the whole public subsidies conversation, different from this video, but they're using it to fix up something that's still getting value out of it. Instead of costing twice as much, having to build somewhere else, acquire that land, they're literally trying to just upgrade what they've already got going. And I think, again, that's rare, that's unique, and that's pretty refreshing in this day and age. You've made it here to the end of the video. You know I appreciate that. Thumbs up down below. And if you're just coming across me and this channel for the very first time, that's awesome. I'm glad you found me. Make sure you subscribe so I can definitely see you back here next time.